All right, what's up, everybody? We are live. Welcome to the third installment of Trader Talk. I am Jason. We have also got right here up over my shoulder, Snay. Up here, we have got James. Over there, we have got Jordan. Up in the top over that way is Amal, and here in the right next to me here is our special guest, Miggity Miner. Matt, you are a little bit out of frame, but anyway. Welcome. What's happening? How you guys all doing?
Good.
Everybody good? All right. Fantastic. Beautiful Monday. Lovely day. Looks like we got a fair amount of people tuning in too. Looks like Icon is gassed up, saying bots for the win. Very excited to talk about the bot conversation. I know certainly this is. I'm looking forward to hearing actually Miggity and Jordan get into the bot talk. All right, cool. Well, we are all here. I know Matt is also going to be simultaneously streaming on his channel. So hello to all of Miggity Miner's people as well.
Yeah, we got a number of people on. So Miggity Miner community, thanks for tuning in. This is Cryptosomniac. Gotta give you guys a background of how this all kind of came about. Jason and I were at the Litecoin Summit together and really hit it off and talked through and maybe turned him to the dark side because he's been running some crypto hoppers. So we're going to discuss it tonight and talk a little bit about bots and how they affect the market. And so just so you guys know, my community, good majority of them are bot users. So definitely have the bot community watching also.
Awesome. Well, we're very excited. We've had a lot of trouble with bots in our days, from the ones that we were trying to utilize as admins in our Discord server, all the way on over to just trying to contend with them as traders. So very exciting to have this conversation. So yeah, let's see. I had a couple of things just in the get-go, standard topics we can go over. Of course, we'll just let the conversation flow. But particularly, I was curious. Specifically, when did you guys first learn about bots being a thing, even in trading, right? So obviously, there's a lot to learn in trading, and that was one of the later things that I learned about. I was too busy focusing on the technical aspects, technical analysis aspects, before I got into the even becoming aware that there were bots. So what about you guys? When did you start becoming aware of bot trading even being a thing in crypto or traditional markets?
Well, before this gets too punny, my last name is Bot, so that's always nice to know. But yeah, I actually don't have that much experience with bots, and I'm here more to learn. Because I think it's we're pretty fortunate to have all these quote unquote bot experts or people with a lot of experience with bots. So I'm looking forward to hearing more on how my money could work for me. So take it away, guys.
Very cool.
Yeah, I think bot trading is interesting. You get into, there seems to be a gap, and I think there's a misunderstanding in the community of what bot trading is. We see there's a lot of programs out there where it's like, here, just buy into our bot and we trade for you on your behalf, and they're all running this. It's one large bot that's trading everybody's funds. While I think there's some pros and cons to that, a lot of people don't understand how customizable bots are to specific TA, your specific strategy, what you exactly want to run. And I think once there's the profit trailers, gun bots, Hasbot, Crypto Hopper, Apex, there's all these different bots out there where there's extremely customizable to the end user. So I think once that's kind of happened, and it's kind of opened this whole world up to people to where they're not just, here's my money, go trade it for me, and they're walking away from us. They have no input. It's become more of it's how I got in, is more of a hobby of. It gave me a way to really learn TA and learn the insides and in and outs of how a bot works. And with the beauty of where we're at with the web now, being able to have UIs where it's very user friendly and it's not coding, it's not super difficult. It's just point and click has made it very easy.
Very cool. I know some of you other guys had some experience with another bot, 3 commas. There was some of that going around in the Cryptosomniac community. Any feedback on that, or what other bots are you guys familiar with?
Let's start with 3 commas. I think
basically it seemed like the most at the time user friendly, and I was looking at the different bots and a couple YouTube videos, and 3 commas just seemed easy, and I liked at the time how you could see the P&L of other people's bots and just basically copy theirs. But what got me interested in bots was at first trading. You'd be looking at the level 2 and be like, who the F is trading 0.0001 of a Doge? And that's what got me interested. And then also I got really interested in the exchange bots and sort of fudging with them.
All right, so let's take this back to basics, guys. What does bot trading do for us? What does that mean? What does it mean when a bot is trading on our behalf? Like, what are the stipulations? What are the parameters? How's it all work?
Yeah, it's effectively executing market orders based on the strategy that you program it to. So I can say, particularly with this crypto hopper, the thing that I really like is being able to set your take profit strategy and then also set a trailing stop loss. So as the coin runs, it moves your stop loss up behind it, and then you can set whatever percentage that you want it to trigger on. So you never lose more than 1.25% on your trade. I mean, unless the whole market crashes, obviously. But
so take me through it, guys. I put a Bitcoin into this bot. What can you do? What can I expect? X, Y, Z.
Yeah, I mean, the expectations are always hard, right? People always ask me, what can I gain per day, right? And it really depends on. There's a lot of factors that come into play, as we all know, with any type of trading system. The beauty behind bots is it takes the emotion out of the equation. We all know that traders especially new traders, get so they get in trouble when their emotions come into play and they don't follow their plan, and they're like, oh, I'm just going to get out of this, and they sell at a loss, or they make a bad trade because of the emotions. The beauty behind bots is that it takes that factor out of the situation. The one problem I see with some people, because we're truly with these customizable bots, you're putting in the hands of the user, which is probably why my channel's had success, is there's a lot of content to go through on setting up a bot properly. And unfortunately, I think a lot of people, they want to put in the bare minimum to make amazing gains, right? We all know that no matter what we're doing, no matter what that just isn't how things work. It takes a lot of work to make the kind of gains that we're all looking for, whether you're manually trading, whether you're using a bot, whether you're using a trailing bot, whatever you're doing, it requires hard work. And the nice thing about the communities that have been developed, I'm involved in a couple communities, is the being able to share the information. With most of the bots now, you can simply copy and paste somebody else's strategy. You can do that in Crypto Hopper. There's another bot I'm covering, Apex, where you can literally just copy somebody's strategy and look at the performance reports. We see that in a lot of other tools where it's like, copy this trader, copy this person, copy that person. But when it comes to taking the emotion out of the equation, I think that's really, really important when it comes to bots.
Agreed. There's the adage of plan your trade and trade your plan, and it's really easy to not to follow your plan when you're sitting at the computer watching the trades happen. It's easy to, make that limit sell order because you're afraid it's going to dip, and instead of just letting it happen. So that's something I've been enjoying about it, is just saying, trade it based on these parameters and then just staying away from it. I look at it a few times in the day just to kind of see where the profit margins are. But
so market conditions are always changing, right? They fluctuate left and right. Whether you look at different intervals, whether if you're a conservative trader or you have a different strategy, obviously you're able to pinpoint things that some people may not be seeing. So do you have to continuously update these bots based on the current market conditions? So is this like a daily activity for some?
I don't want people to think that it's just set it and forget it.
Right.
Like with the 3 commas, for example, if the market's trending upwards or sideways, you can just let it go. If you see the market dip, you can click just basically reverse, and it'll start basically short selling for you and try to accumulate more BTC. Or whatever token or coin you want it to, but I'll let somebody else chime in.
I want to chime in there, but just give me one. I'm sorry, guys. My health is dying, so I'm actually just pushing my viewers over to you guys' channel because for some reason I'm getting all kinds of cutting in and out. So just give me 1 second, but I definitely want to jump in there because I also have some thoughts on 3 commas because I don't really believe that 3 commas is actually a trading bot. But we'll get into that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So we've got some people chiming in the chat up there. So I heard BitConnect had a trading bot.
They said they did.
Steve Titrault, sorry if I butchered that, Steve. Bots are only good if you get a shit ton of BTC. They're a waste for guys like me. Immediately followed up by Yadman Kristal saying, nope, I've got a small account and bot is the bomb. So I think a lot of people want to know, and guys, I say by and large I never talk dollars or I never talk amounts on here. I always talk percentages just because I don't ever want to discourage people, and I also think it's rude to talk about it's you guys know. It's just you don't want to talk about the actual money. So with that being said, what percentage of your portfolio, I think is what they're asking, what percentage of your portfolio are you allowing to have your bot trade with? I can tell you right now, I did the dumb thing and plugged it into my Bittrex and let it run with what I would say is probably about 20% of my portfolio right now. But I was just willing to gamble it. So that's what I did. I don't know that I'd recommend that move.
A bot's as good as your strategy and your back testing, and whether you like it or not, bots are going to be the future. So I came from the traditional market, so I knew about bots quite early on. There's not that many of that traditional market sophistication in crypto, but that's all going to change. Especially you can see it on BTC USD. A lot of it's back testing, getting your strategy right, and letting it loose. And the more confident you are with that strategy and the success of your back testing, you can dedicate more capital to it. But it's simply going to be the way of the future.
Yeah, just to chime in there real quick on the user's question saying you have to have a ton of capital.
No.
That's not the case. A percent is a percent, whether it's a percent of $10 or it's a percent of $100,000.
Exactly.
The same. Now, if you wanted to make significant gains, there is a factor that comes into you got to take into account the price of the bot or what you're paying monthly for your subscription. That you got to make enough money to offset the cost for it to make sense, right? But when you're trading, I'll kind of speak to the numbers that I see, and this isn't based off of anything other than just what I typically run. On a good day, I can see 2 to 2.5% gains per day. On a rough day, I'll see 0.5% of gain. If the market takes a huge tank, and I personally am an advocate for stop losses. I run a negative 3.5 stop loss on bots. The thing with bots is people really have to realize that the whole goal of the bot world is to get in and out of the position as quickly as possible to gain that percentage of profit or whatever your profit margin is that you're looking for, to get in quickly and to turn over your inventory multiple times per day. There are some days where I can turn over my inventory 4 to 5 times and perform 200, 250 trades. There are other...
love you.
Oh, I know. Yeah. But then again, there's other days where it's you get bagged up, or you get a position that you don't necessarily want to take a loss on, and you DCA that position for the guys dollar cost average that position, and it can lock up funds. So, but I'm a huge advocate when it comes to bots is you need to be in and out of the position as quickly as possible to get those gains. And I've seen with some of our bots, I think the fastest that we've seen on Apex, we actually measured one trade 26 seconds. In and out with a percent of profit. So, it's beautiful what a bot can do, especially when it comes to guys who, let's be honest, in the crypto industry, not many people are full-time, right? I see the back, and I apologize, I don't remember your name, but your trading setup behind you is phenomenal, right? Most guys don't have this. Most guys are doing this on a hobby. They're dabbling in crypto. They're kind of getting into it. The fact that they can put $1,000 in and make $100 a month or $150 a month is beautiful to some people, right? But I think we just need to realize the people we're talking with and the people that are using the bots. But just to answer the question, I continuously see 1 to 2% per day on my bots.
It's pretty strong. I've been averaging about 1.5 to 1.7, and that's just as I'm still trying to dial in the strategy and get used to it. But
where people get in trouble is they'll have those profits can be taken away very quickly in a bot if they don't have the reins on it, or they don't necessarily know what's going on, or they're not watching the bot. They'll be, you can be -10 real quick and kiss all that profit right down the drain.
Yeah.
So I have a quick question here: is what do the taxes look like? That must be ridiculous. You're making thousands of transactions here, and then
it's actually something I'm actually addressing. I'm talking to a couple CPAs who are crypto specialists. To maybe bring them on the channel and kind of talk through that. I haven't actually been through a full cycle with a CPA yet on this, and I think it'll be interesting with the regulation and what's, because let's be honest, we're not really real clear on how taxes are going to be handled with crypto at any rate. But it'll be interesting to see how that all folds out, because you are correct, taxes could be a huge issue.
Yeah. That's what I was concerned about. I mean, if you're making 2% a day throughout the whole year, but you're still paying 39% capital gains tax on all of it, that could eat up a significant portion of your gains if you're not careful.
So I believe DEXs also have like decentralized exchanges also have APIs that you could plug into. Do you guys have any experience with that, or do you guys just traditionally use Binance or Bittrex or some of the other bigger exchanges?
It depends on the bot. What the bots that I use are dependent upon, have specific exchanges they can use.
Okay, but so you guys haven't used any DEXs before?
The DEX is a tricky one, and particularly for market makers as well, to have something work efficiently on there. But I know for a fact there's some out there that are, one platform in particular is quite sophisticated and is able to work on a decentralized exchange, and they are coming. It's a lot of these people have come from the traditional world, and they've had their bots, market makers, high frequency trading bots on traditional markets. They think they can just put it into crypto and it's going to work, but it takes a lot of reconfiguring. It's a totally different animal in crypto. So they're coming. They're definitely coming. They are out there already.
I'm just imagining, how much more stressful crypto must be, considering it's a 24-hour market compared to, it's not like Forex. I mean, Forex is open all the time, but compared to traditional stocks or even penny stocks, I remember back in the day, I had a bot that configured, pink slip stocks. So I lost a lot of money there. So I would not advise that, but it was fairly straightforward compared to crypto, which there's a lot of compatibility issues. You have to worry about blockchain slowdowns. Like, what happens to your bots when there's a flash crash? Because a lot of these exchanges don't have those security things set up. Or what happens to your bot when, when Ethereum has a slowdown? Do those transactions, are those transactions are off chain? Is that correct?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Do you know the answer to that, Matt?
I don't. I've never had the issue where there's a slowdown. Now, there have been times where, with any bot, you're never trading a position that's a significant amount of money to where if something were to happen with that specific position, you should be able to wash one of your positions and just it'd be gone and still be okay. I'll have 80 open positions and 80 different pairs at the same time. So, but it is an interesting question. I've not had any problems with that. I primarily trade on Binance. Just because of the volume, because of the reputation. So I've never seen that issue come up.
Yeah, so some of the smaller exchanges, they do have that issue, and the decentralized exchanges, sometimes the API will change or something will go wrong, and then the alerts will go off and you've got to reconfigure as quick as possible because you might be market making for a coin or whatever it may be, so it's a priority.
But I will tell you, like when Binance had their issue and they canceled all everybody's APIs, right? And they I can't remember the exact situation. There was a time where a lot of my users, their bots got turned off because their API wasn't functional anymore. So it is definitely something that, as much as you want to say you want to walk away and not have any, you want to be able to just be hands off. Unfortunately, that's obviously not the case. You've got to be a little bit hands on, but it doesn't really. Once you get your bot humming, most guys log in once a day, check on it, make sure everything's running smooth, and log off.
I was just saying, you might the way what I've been doing with it is I'll look at tokens that I think might move in the day, and as long as I'm not bag holding on that token already, I've been going in and swapping in and out the projects. Like I initially started using it with the wallet scrubber feature to get rid of some shit coins. Came out ahead on that, and then no, I've forgotten my point. I hate when that happens.
Don't worry, you're not live on YouTube or anything.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah.
Never happens to me live on the channel once per stream either.
Editors will take it out. It's no big deal.
So that's the interesting part is, when there is like these huge flash crashes, or say Elon Musk says, "Hey, I'm building Tesla on Ethereum now." That thing's going to skyrocket, right? So you have to be forever vigilant when you're running a bot. I mean, it's not a simple, set your stop loss, take profits, because your stop losses are really, really small when running bots compared to traditional swing traders. Is that correct? Is that logic correct?
Well, there's a trailing stop loss first to address if a token goes on a run, if you're going to be able to catch that, right?
Yeah.
Is that what? So trailing stop loss, for those watching who don't know what that is, basically trailing stop loss sets an arm point. So the bot sets an arm point. Let's say that arm point is at 1%. You then set your stop loss at 0.60. So at 1%, it's going to arm, and it's going to follow the coin all the way up to wherever it goes. It goes up 10%, 15%, 20% until it has that loss of 0.60%. And then it's going to initiate the sell order. So it's not necessarily just a fixed percentage profit where it's like at 1% profit sell. Some of my positions sell for 0.5% profit because the TSL hit at 1 and that coin came back down. And then sometimes we'll run up to 4%. It's about the end of the day average and how you done as far as wins versus losses and percentage profit made on each, your average percentage profit. So, but yeah, you can follow a run, no problem. The trick, the game is figuring out the correct TSL setting because, you can run a TSL that goes, that arms at 2% and then sells at a -1. So you get to the 2, it drops to -1.10 sells, but then it goes on another 6-point run, right? So that's the trick, and it's a bit of a game trying to figure out those percentages and the correct ones that work. And
yeah, and there will be more sophisticated bots coming out with machine learning that will be able to learn those kind of things. And but the market's always changing as regulations and things come out. There'll be less volatility, and that will change. So, but
well, the other thing,
yeah.
Well, I was going to say onto that point too is just we all know how the news affects the crypto market, and I'm working with a couple of projects. I'm actually in negotiations with one project to come on as an advisor on a new bot that's coming out. And you're right, the machine learning, the AI is definitely going to come into play because of the social cues. So part of the piece that it's building in is looking at Twitter trends. What's the Twitter trend on this specific coin?
Yeah.
The Twitter indicator, the social indicator of what the news is saying about a coin is coming into play, and people are starting to already implement it into the bots, which is really interesting. And I apologize, I didn't mean to interrupt there, but I thought that led into what you were saying.
And you're correct. I'm seeing that the sentiment bots come out as well. So they're all trying to be integrated with the bots and machine learning to know the best time to come out to exit, or and also machine learning the candlestick patterns, which is kind of working well with TD sequential at the moment. So the percentages on running TD sequential on the 1 hour on every 13 count is actually running about 73% without AI.
You might be unmuted, Amal.
Yeah, am I good?
Yeah, there we go.
What I was going to say is, to piggyback off what James was saying and Miggity Miner was saying is, these bots, I think, right now are perfect for the audience, the general audience in crypto, which is, somewhat novice and somewhat intermediate experienced investors, right, and traders. Reason being because these bots, compared to the HFT bots that traditional markets use, and James and I are, both from the equity markets, these bots are essentially like Roombas. Like they'll do like the basic functionality of getting you like 1%, 2% TSLs, and essentially helping you in range trading. they do not do well in volatile markets. You're going to get destroyed. And that exactly is what crypto is, right? But luckily, in an environment like this, especially market conditions like that right now, these bots are perfect to use because you know that if Bitcoin is hovering between $6,400 and $6,600, your altcoins are essentially moving in the same sine wave, right? So that's exactly where you need to start utilizing your bot. I mean, turn your bot on, walk away, and then once you set your alert for Bitcoin breaking 6,600 or breaking down below 6,300 or something, that's when you turn off your bot, and then you either start shorting, manually, or you start opening up longs or spot buys.
And to kind of speak to that, I mean, I understand what you're saying as far as the novice user, but I think steps are being made with some pretty amazing, triggers being added into bots. Like I said, I mentioned Apex as a new bot that I'm looking into and working with. I know some of the guys from my old community. It's pretty phenomenal, but their trigger system has they've actually developed a trigger system where you can basically adjust your trigger, have a trigger set that will run off of what the market is doing. So if Bitcoin has a rise of 3% in a 5-minute candle, it sets off the trigger to perform a specific function. So same thing if it drops in a 5-minute candle on a 3% drop in a 5-minute candle, you can set the trigger to do about whatever you want. Panic sell all positions and transfer to over to Tether, and then set another trigger once you see a stabilization point to buy back in and to get that profit off of that piece. So we're starting to see some pretty intuitive things happening in bots like that trigger system, to where it used to be, and you still have to kind of watch the market. If you see that drop, you can have that trigger and get out all your positions, but it became manual. It's becoming more automated now, to where the bot can actually exit you out of all your crypto positions, put you into USDT while the market drops, buy you back in at a lower point, increasing your percentages again and getting those profits. So
that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Miggity, I got a question for you, if you don't mind. Do you have any experience with arbitrage bots?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry. So Crypto Hopper actually has an arbitrage function, but it's really not true arbitrage because it's internal exchange between pairs, between base pairs. So it's not a true arbitrage between exchanges. I can't talk a lot about it, but the team that I'm working with, that maybe coming on as an advisor with, is an arbitrage bot.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
So yes, I do have some experience with it. The hard part with arbitrage, and especially in an end user type of bot, like we're talking about for the novice user, for the everyday trader with less than $10,000 or whatever they might be trading, is arbitrage becomes very difficult because it has to be so quick, right? And the lag between APIs and so forth. It's in the delays on the chain, things that are occurring with delays in the exchange. It's very hard to do arbitrage in crypto.
Without a bunch of capital sitting on all of those exchanges, it'd be difficult to move it around to find the liquidity in your own portfolio.
Correct. Yeah, it has to be a tremendous amount of liquidity to make that happen.
Yeah, you want to do the exact reverse change trade at the same time on the opposite exchanges.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly.
And the beauty of these bots we're seeing is the interface. It's just simple to use instead of just a complicated script. Some of these proprietary bots, they're just a bunch of numbers. They're hard to understand. The beauty of the 3 bots, Crypto Hopper, the interface is simple and you can copy other people's trades. So it's definitely a good entry into the bot world.
I mean, I tell you what, I mean, it's kind of my whole world around my YouTube channel for the most part. Now, I do some other things, but when it comes to bot trading, legitimately, I can have somebody watch a 15-minute video. They can be logged in, set up their APIs, plugged in the bot, and be up and running and trading in 20 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy. Now, that's just pointing and clicking and having no basic understanding of what's going on. Just fill in the boxes, right, and trust somebody's judgment. But it can happen.
Well, if there is one thing that I have learned in this space, is that there's a lot of people just looking to be told where to park. How do I say it that way? So I think probably there's a number of people that are more than happy with, somebody that they think is reputable giving them some settings, and they're like, great, I'm going to go with this. And I mean, that's kind of effectively what I did. I looked up the strategy on your thing, and then I've just been tweaking it to my liking trying to dial it in for my portfolio. So I think having a jump off point is nice.
It's addicting too. People get into bot trading and they go to sleep and they wake up in the morning and they made 2%. They made $100 while they were asleep. That's a beautiful thing. Now the same thing can happen. You can wake up and you lost $200. Right. But at the same time, it's very easy for the end user. And I've got guys all day long going, hey man, thank you so much for what you do. Took my kids on vacation for the first time in 4 years based off the profits I got out of my bot. Just cool stuff like that. And that's what I dig is people learning how to make actual passive profits. Because we all, there's so many scams out there and so many different, earn passive profits, work from home, all the crap out there, right? To actually have a system that people can follow and actually make gains. Now you definitely want to box that in the fact that there's risk, obviously, as there is with anything. But people walking away making profits and making gains, just nothing makes me more excited.
But to that point, for all the people that are watching, you do need to have a little bit of technical analytical expertise, right? You can't just just walk in and set the parameters and kind of set and forget. You do want them to kind of have like some sort of an understanding of what's actually going on and why these indicators work, what these candlesticks actually look like.
Well, and that's exactly what it is. It's like, don't think that just you buy the bot and the bot trades for you. You need to understand, what does RSI do? What does stochastic do? What does MACD do? You need to understand what those things do so that you can tell the bot to make a buy or a sell based on the data that it gets from those things. That's a super important thing to clarify for anybody who is thinking about going to sign up.
Yeah, I also I want to interject there, and maybe I'm going to play devil's advocate here. That is not necessarily a true statement. But I agree with you. I think there's a starting point that people can get into bots, but obviously, my job is take, it's just like teaching somebody anything. You start from step one. The thing is, we're getting to a live bot and actually trading on step 2 rather than step 10, to where they're actually starting to make trades. Like, I always recommend people start with something small and just kind of get used to it and take them through the process of learning the TAs. Because what happens is, typically what I see with a user is they log in, they get their bot set up, they plug in somebody else's TA, they plug in somebody else's strategy that they found that's got a good reputation on whatever Discord or wherever it might be, and they start trading, and and then from there they usually take steps of going, okay, what is this thing doing? And they start looking at it, and then they open up TradingView and they plug it into TradingView and they start to get a picture for what that looks like, and then they start thinking, what if I do this or what if I do that? And they start back testing it and they start coming up with their own thoughts on theories. And that's really what I see is typically people, kind of what Jason just said. He started with a set strategy that I said works really well, and then he started tweaking it to his liking. And I think that's what we see often. But I think it can be, scary for people who want to get into this, but they see, you try to say, okay, you need to have this 2 years of knowledge to come in and start trading. That's not necessarily true to see gains. And you might not, that might be kind of contradictory to what you're saying and a lot of what you guys do. And I've watched some of your guys' stuff, and I think what you guys do is awesome. But I think, yes, the end user wants to learn more, and we want them to become more knowledgeable and not just depend on what they're being told. But to start, that's not necessarily necessary.
No, I actually agree with you there, because I think the best way to learn is to have some small stake in it. If you're just, for example, I'm in a couple fantasy leagues. The only ones I really care about is the ones I paid to get into, right? Of course, that's gambling or the nature of trading like it is now. There's not much difference between fantasy sports and crypto trading, right? But it's true. If you have a small position, however small, maybe $20, you actually have a reason to go check, right? Hey, how's the market doing? How's my bot performing? Mm-hmm. So I'll actually adjust my original statement and kind of agree with you there.
I'm gonna kind of add on to that, actually. So what I was gonna say is, a good way to, I guess, sum up the usage of a bot and the requirements for, let's just say an amateur user, right, who's never used a bot before, is I wouldn't necessarily say that you need to know technical analysts, or you don't need to be a technical analyst, nor do you need to know technical analysis. as a prerequisite to using a bot, but I think it's a far more better complement to using a bot, right? For example, if we look at a chart right now, we realize that it's, Bitcoin has been range trading, right, between like a $300, up and down. But if you were to catch, and start up a bot, let's just say, beginning of January when the market was falling, right? BTC US dollar prices are falling, and also the altcoin BTC pairing is also falling. So not only are you essentially losing money because of your BTC value, but you're also losing money through US dollar. Now, however, there were points where the bot started, or the market started turning, and you realize like, okay, you can make a little bit of money on the altcoin and BTC pairing, but your overall dollar value is going down. So this bot does not take that into account. But you as a human are obviously coherent of that, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like in cases like that, you need to understand, the basics of understanding, okay, is this a market that's essentially falling, and am I trying to catch a knife, right?
Yeah.
It depends on your long-term perspective of what you think cryptocurrency is going to do, right? So yes, I deal with this a lot, right? People talk about the dollar amount, and they're like, I don't understand. I'm up 3%, but my Binance is telling me that my $1,000 investment is now $910 or whatever, because they're not taking into account the price of Bitcoin if they're trading in like a Bitcoin pair, or if they're trading in an Ethereum pair. So it really, I talk about this a lot, is, are you trading to grow your fiat amount, or are you trading to grow your Bitcoin position? Because, right now, well, we don't get too much. I mean, you guys understand that, but growing your Bitcoin position, it's still a long-term perspective. If you're looking to take out monthly gains, yes, I totally agree. And you got to look at that fiat perspective. But if you're bullish on Bitcoin for the next 2 years, I'm all about growing my Bitcoin position, because I believe that Bitcoin is going to continue to grow and continue to raise in price. Now, obviously, right now we're in the bear market and everybody's down on their luck, and it sucks and nobody likes it. But it's a beautiful time to be running a bot in a sideways market, especially with Bitcoin hovering the way it's been hovering in the 6,500 mark. It's the perfect time to be running a bot.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I guess, at least in our group, right? For example, James and I, we love to use the TD sequential, and Jordan knows it too. For us, when we look at a market and we say that, last month we predicted like, hey, $7,400 was going to be the top, and then the market started falling after that. Why would you want to turn on a bot when the market is falling, right? So that's where I say that, you having a little bit of technical analysis knowledge is probably better, and better to be used in complement in terms of using your bot. Because if you don't know anything and you turn on the bot at the wrong time, you're essentially realizing losses, right? I mean, why not? Because at the end of the day, capital preservation is, the number one rule, and the second step is to actually grow it. So how the hell are you going to grow your capital if you already lost half of it when you turn on the bot at the wrong time?
It's definitely beneficial to have some TA knowledge. At times, when the market's going down, you might want to go to BitMEX on a high leverage short. And in the future, we're going to have bots that can do more, have more functionality like that. And what we have now is a good entry point, and TA knowledge is complementary. Put it that way. You don't need it, but it's complementary.
Absolutely, totally agree.
So we've got a couple of questions here. So Boise, longtime viewer, what's up, Boise? Good to see you, my man. Says trading firms are getting heavy into the space. What impact do you think it will have on bots, since they're already operating in microseconds? High frequency traders. Thoughts on that, guys? Do we think that the bots will be?
Have you guys heard of the Renaissance hedge fund?
No.
So it's like one of the most prominent hedge funds that is operated by a mathematician, right? He started, I think his name is like Joe Simons, and essentially like there's like 200 or 300 employees, and they have like half of them are like PhDs and just like whiz kids, right? I think their assets under management is like 80 or 90 billion dollars, and those guys, they have effectively been able to wrap up massive gains in the market way more so than any of your typical hedge funds, right? So what I'm trying to get to is, I don't think that the HFT trading has actually come into crypto just yet completely. There might be some people who may be operating on that platform, but I definitely don't think it's come in at the scale at which it is in the equity markets.
Not yet, no.
That's what James was talking about. Is these to me, like, these bots are essentially Roombas compared to the HFTs, because those bots will essentially make a trader's trade at least like 500 times a second or something. They're just massive compilers.
Even more.
Yeah, some are significantly more, right?
But on a decentralized, I mean, is that even possible on a blockchain at this point? I mean, with block times, no way.
No.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying.
We're not there yet.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that's happened just yet, and that's why you need rudimentary bots that you have right now.
So things like GDAX and BitMEX aren't actually on-chain transactions. They're as fast as a SQL database. Right?
Exactly, because it's a centralized wallet.
That can happen. That can happen on things like these margin trading platforms. Binance actually, you could actually track Binance through block explorers, where your funds are actually going, whether it's going to a pooled wallet, a reserved wallet, because all it's actually doing is you're sending it to a wallet, a specific deterministic wallet, and it's all going to a single private key, but you're sending it to a specific wallet address, right?
Yeah. No, the point I was trying to make essentially is, I do like the fact that HFTs haven't come into the market yet, because the average user, right, the average investor, like all of us and people in Cryptosomniac, we can actually take advantage of the market conditions as they are right now. And Crypto Hopper is perfect for something like that, and Commons as well. But once the HFTs start coming, you will definitely know that they are in.
Yeah.
We had a couple more questions.
And try to detect wash trading when you're doing 10,000 transactions a second.
I think that helps though, because right now, comparatively, our volume is super low, right? And so when you have all these, HFTs come in and all these other new bots come in, the volume's going to get drastically higher, which should help with volatility. If I'm not mistaken.
And then you'll probably be able to pay more for a low latency API, and then you'll have those issues as well.
Yeah.
It's like the airplane packages.
So there's a couple concerns in the chat as well. So with these API access, I believe most exchanges have taken away withdrawal and deposit access with APIs. So there's not really much concern of your funds, quote unquote, getting hacked. Right, you still have to log. The bots don't control withdrawing and depositing. What they could do though is, like what happened with Binance, is they could pump a specific coin and then they can sell out of that coin.
Right.
Yes.
Right? That's pretty much the whole thing. But since Binance is fully KYC regulated and has all these conditions, I think only 2 Bitcoin can be withdrawn per day unless you have a higher. I think the top you could withdraw is 15 Bitcoin per day, so which is in the grand scheme of things, is it 15?
No, I can withdraw. No, I have just a KYC account where I took my picture with my driver's license, all that stuff, and I can do 100 Bitcoin.
100 Bitcoin a day. Wow. Okay. I still think I'm on the 10 Bitcoin per day, but anyways, which is still a lot of money, right? But in the grand scheme of things, it's not that much. When you're thinking about hacking an API or doing anything like that, it's the repercussions are so much worse than the actual value that you'll be getting out.
And I think just to answer the user's question specifically, I mean, when you set up your API through Binance, there's 4 checkboxes of what the API is allowed to do, and withdrawal is just one of the checkboxes that you don't use. So that functionality is not available through the API.
Even the thing that I thought was actually pretty cool is, even when you go through the wizard to set up Hopper, it even says, shut this off, we don't want this power. Like, they're like, turn this off to the withdrawals. So.
And to kind of give you guys a little bit of background as far as the Crypto Hopper guys, like, it's not just a product that I cover. Like, I was on a conference call with 3 of the developers this morning. So I know these guys pretty well. I've gotten to know them. It started off as just I was this random guy who was covering the bot, but I've gotten to know the owner of the company and most of the developers, and they're pretty upstanding, awesome dudes who are just truly trying to make a fantastic product for people.
So is there? Never mind. No, sorry. Go ahead.
So we have deranged pervert. Great YouTube handle. Says, do we pay taxes on every crypto to crypto or when you withdraw to your bank account? I can actually tell you for sure because my CPA told me this. All transactions crypto to crypto for 2018 are taxable. So every time you've made a trade this year, you are subject to short-term capital gains tax if it also is a FIFO basis, so first in, first out. So meaning if you bought 5 Ethereum at $7 and then you sold them at, it ran up to 1,200, back down to whatever, and you sold them recently, you're paying the difference on the cost basis, the $7 to the $220 rather than the full amount. Anyway, point being, every time you make a trade, that is a taxable transaction in the United States. Outside of the United States, I don't know. But I can tell you for sure, in the United States, every transaction between crypto is a taxable transaction. And the majority of them are probably going to be subject to short-term capital gains tax, which I believe is 39%.
Yeah, I mean, there's even rumors where here in the United States, where some states have actually enforced it, and I don't know what the IRS ruling is going to be, but even from wallet to wallet transactions, imagine moving $100 to your left pocket to your right pocket. That may be deemed as a transaction.
That's
obviously
crazy.
That makes no sense. That makes no sense to us, but to them, it's like, hey, like you're moving from bank account to bank account. We need to track that. But the cool thing is, all these network fees, or all these blockchain network fees and exchange fees, can all be claimed as losses. Right, but
yeah, that's true.
Then you have to have like an accounting team for all the trades you botters are making. This is ridiculous. Unless there's some sort of exported API, exported like CV.
Yeah, there's some services you can use to export your trades out. Here's my kind of perspective on taxes, and I'm a proud, strong American tax-paying person, but I'm going to do my best to
not
explain all the information and what I gained and what I made.
Yeah.
And I can kind of walk away going, look, I tried to tell you this is how much money I made doing this.
Right.
And here's what I believe is all the information that I can provide you. I think things are going to change as the crypto market matures, because we all know if you want to go to try to trace down all the different wallet transactions and the different things that I did, good luck. You just can't do it. There's no way I'm going to be able.
More money than you're ever going to get by putting me in jail for the tiny amount of money that
just to speak on that. Look how much crypto is tainted through the darknet. There was a statistic there's no such thing unless you're a miner. There's no such thing as quote unquote virgin cryptocurrency. Everything has been tainted through drugs and other things. For example, how people are laundering money is through Steemit now. Shapeshift is requiring KYC now, so you can't even go into Monero or use any of these dexes without filling out KYC. I think Kyber Network is actually going to require KYC as well. We'll see what happens to Ether Delta and IDEX, but long story short, pay your taxes and try as hard as you can to figure out how much money you've made.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of where I'm at. Pay your taxes and what the money you made, and do the best you can. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, that's really all you can do until they provide more clear guidelines to what the rules actually are. I think honestly at this point, the fact that you're saying that you're disclosing it up front, they're probably happy enough that that's not going to end up getting you audited. What do I know? I don't know. I've never even been audited, but I'm guessing that disclosing it and doing your best to even if at some point down the road it did end up going bad, I could imagine them. At least you're like, look, I tried. It wasn't clear at the time.
But the IRS doesn't
leeway in court.
The IRS doesn't care that you've tried your best. They're not going to pat you on the head and good job, kid. You know
No,
what they're going
still
to
gonna
do
make you
is
pay, but they might
they're going
not
to come
throw
down
you in
with
jail
some
immediately.
citations.
They might just let you pay instead of putting you in jail.
Yeah.
That's my point.
No, for sure.
Especially when you're putting everything on YouTube. Hey, here's what I've got. Here's what I've.
Exactly.
Which. Don't do that.
Oh, I know. It's people all the time, man. Back in the bull market when I would see people and they're just posting up their screenshots of their account. I'm all cool. What bar did you say you were going to be at later? I'll show up with my
Yeah, like my
mask and
user-
wrench.
Yeah, my viewers have no clue what I actually trade with. Like my actual balances have never been displayed on my channel.
Yeah, they
My-
shouldn't. It's so rude. And I mean, because if it's massive, right, you might be completely discouraging the person that doesn't realize that you really can buy $20 worth of Bitcoin, and maybe that's where they get into the market, and eventually, or if it's the other way around, if you have tiny money, people might or if you're just what some people are deeming as tiny money, they're not going to listen to the information because they've made a judgment based on dollar figures. So,
I've had that feedback before on my channel because the bots that I show on my channel are usually trading 5 Ethereum, 6 Ethereum, half a Bitcoin, nothing significant.
Yeah.
And then but I get the feedback. It's like, what do you know? You're only trading $1,000. That's people can't understand the scaling piece of $1,000 to $100,000. It's all percentages. It doesn't really matter. But
exactly.
yeah, I've got to protect myself a little bit here too.
Yeah. So, yes, sir says, I got to go to my night job in 20 minutes. Can you just spit it out so we can all get rich overnight? Well, I think we've gotten past the point of we've proven that nobody gets rich overnight unless you're extremely lucky. That's not what this game is about. Crypto Kid says, are these guys shilling bots? We're just discussing bots. Let's see. What else?
And they say lucky. I mean, if you were in any cryptocurrency in late 2016, I guess you're lucky.
Exactly.
I guess.
Did you have the good
lucky,
foresight of good timing?
Yeah.
It'll happen again. If you look at the exponential levels of how Bitcoin has gone, and I mean, again, I guess the past doesn't guarantee the future, but if you look at it, it's the difference. How many times people were like, "Oh, Bitcoin's dead and it's over," and then significant amounts of wealth were created in very short amount of time. So I think with as serious as blockchain has become in the real business world, I don't know that it'll be Bitcoin, but there's no way we're not going to see another bull market come in at some point. There's just not. There's too many people adopting this technology into their projects for I don't know if we'll see it in the form that it's in right now, but this stuff is definitely going to exist. So
And to that ode, we've been streaming for around 52 minutes. I'd love to see some Bitcoin charts and see everyone's perspective in the future. How should I program my brand new bot? Help me out, guys.
Short it.
Yeah, short it.
I would definitely put it down.
Yeah. But does someone want to share their screen with some charts?
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, Amal will do that.
Amal, all right. I will make Amal the big head here. All right. Thought I was. Oh, Amal, your volume's gone.
Your volume's gone.
You guys hear me?
There we go.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah.
All right.
But you're really dim.
Really?
Really quiet. Yeah, I guess you can't be dim when it's volume. Yeah.
I think he's pretty intelligent. That's very rude, Snay.
Yeah.
Is this better?
Yeah, that's
you
much
did,
better.
dude.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, my screen is super laggy, so give me 1 second.
So I see you have Bitfinex. You know what Bitfinex does? When you put your crypto in their wallets, in their exchange, what they do is they take a collateralized loan out from your crypto for fiat. I didn't know if anyone knew that, but they actually loan out all their crypto.
That's interesting. Huh.
Yeah, like a bank.
I was gonna say, so they're just recreating the banking system.
I mean, think about the reason why Robinhood works how it works is because you're taking loans out of your USD wallet inside of Robinhood's account. That's why they could afford those zero fee, zero commission trading, right?
Right. That makes sense.
So,
Yeah. Same with like why Venmo allows you to move money around without fees, because those 2 days that it takes the money to transfer, they're essentially loaning your money and investing with it.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So here's my BLX Bitcoin chart. This is something that I've shared before. It's the weekly chart, and as you can see that we've had this ascending trend line way back here from 2011. Again, by the way, for those of you who are new from the Miggity Miners channel, my name is Amal. I've been trading and investing in the equity markets for about 11 years now. And, technical analysis is pretty much the same across, all things that are involving human psychology and trading. Okay. So this is why it applies to the crypto markets as well. So essentially back here, this ascending line was resistance. Once we broke through, we used it as support multiple times, back here in 2015, 2016. And then we kind of just took off to that 20,000 bull run, right? So my, prediction, if you will, is at some point we're going to meet this ascending trend line as well as this 200 moving average, which is the purple. The purple one is something that supported us back here in 2015 multiple times. So that will probably meet us somewhere between $3,500 to $4,500 levels. Okay, just throwing it out there. And James and I like to use the TD sequential quite a bit. He actually created this TD DC13. If you guys just look it up, you just type it in here, indicators and strategies, and it kind of looks like this. So I just turned it on. Let's see. So here we go. Let me dig into it a little bit. And let me tell you why it's so useful, because Tom DeMark, the creator of the TD sequential, essentially did a lot of historical analysis on many assets across many different sectors, and he realized that assets move in potentially 9 and 13 counts. Okay, so whether it's days or weeks, they like to move in 9 and 13 movements. So as you can see right here from the October move of the weekly candles, you could see a 13 count move right on the 11 and 12. We topped off, and then right after that we started dumping. Okay, so if you solely were using the TD sequential system, you would have sold somewhere around here, walked away from the market, waited for a buy signal, which you technically haven't gotten yet because you haven't got a perfect 9 or 13 count. Except back here, actually. But even this one isn't perfect because the 7, 8s, and 9s are not below the 6. Did I get that right, James?
Yeah, exactly. It's not an actual price flip 9.
Yep.
So, not a strong signal. What's interesting on the 1 day, though, on September the 4th, we had a TD sequential 13, and then the market dumped considerably. We hadn't had a 13 on the daily since December, so it says a lot. Yeah,
so I think you're talking about this one right here.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so this is another thing that I mentioned in my analysis is we talked about $7,400 being the top. Not only did we meet $7,400 at the 13 on the daily, but we actually also met it on the 4 hour as well. So for those of you who are trying to understand technical analysis, I've told y'all before that TD sequential and Ichimoku Cloud are some of my favorites indicators and overlays to use. So here's that $7,400 top. Wait, is it this one? No, it's back here somewhere. Let me show y'all real quick. Gonna be back here. Oh no, this one was a 9 actually, James.
Yeah.
On the 4 hour, but yeah, on the daily it was a 13. So the higher time frames trump the lower ones anyway.
Yeah, and a 13's rare on the higher time frames.
Yeah, so even on a 9 on the 4 hour would have given you a sell signal too, because it was also approaching the cloud. Let me see on the cloud real quick. Just to give you guys an illustration, I know my screen is really slow. Here's the Ichimoku Cloud. Let's see. What the hell's going on? This is so weird. Anyway, it's like really slow. But anyway, you guys get the point. Yeah, TD sequential. Use it.
Yeah, and it's a complementary indicator. It doesn't do all the work by itself. You've got to confirm it with other indicators.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I have. I mean, again, you know, as I've told y'all before, I still see that descending triangle breaking to the downside.
As they do.
Yeah, so something that I've, you know, just kind of been hung up on. I would be more than happy to be proven wrong. I would not, you know, mind starting a bull run tomorrow, honestly. So
He said it. It's tomorrow.
I'd be really happy with that shit.
Get in. We're going shopping.
Anyway, I'm gonna unshare my screen. That's pretty much it.
Cool. All right,
That's
let's
good.
see. I think we got a couple more questions here.
Great. Yeah. I mean, so closing thoughts. And by the way, thank you so much, Miggity Miner, for coming onto the channel. I really do
Thanks
appreciate
for
it.
coming on, man. Really appreciate it. This was great.
This is a
it was fun
start of
time.
this is a start of a beautiful friendship.
Yeah. We're hoping to do more of this kind of cross pollination. So you're welcome on any of these trader talks and.
Yeah, for sure. It was fun. It's been, you know, it's interesting just because, you know, I'll be the first to admit I don't talk much about TA on my channel just because I know there are guys like you who have a much deeper knowledge, and you know, I'm just looking always to interact with people who have much more knowledge so that I can absorb and apply that to bots. So definitely looking forward to continue to work together.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you
good.
making time for coming on.
Yeah. Do we have any other questions
introducing me
on
to
bots or
Crypto Hopper,
anything?
man.
Yeah, for sure. And if I can I plug real quick here, Jason?
Go for it. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, man. If people are interested in checking out Crypto Hopper, I have about 40 different videos on Crypto Hopper, including a full in-depth Udemy course where people can go through. So if they would love to, I'd love to have you know, some crossover subscribers. And to my viewers, also just check these guys out. They're you know, I've been watching some of your videos, and your TA is pretty on point and pretty amazing. So
Thanks.
some great minds here. So just for both of us, kind of reason we're doing this is to get more people involved and to share knowledge and so forth. So we'd love to have both, you know, my community and your community all just share and subscribe to both channels would be great.
Agreed. That's ultimately. I mean, I've kind of started to really think that like all of us YouTubers and things, we are sort of like nodes in the network. So consensus of which ones are good is kind of what I'm going for. It's trying to find out, you know, what other channels are solid and giving good information and good people. So I'm grateful for the collaboration.
Yeah.
90% of the good YouTubers are good. There's some 10 that are chaotic evil, but yeah, you're in the good one. All right, Miggity.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
That's yet to be determined. We still need some more time.
Maybe what will happen is, you know, you could shill a project and then get a bunch of money from it, and then you could get hacked.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It seems to work. Yeah, it seems to work for a lot of people.
It seems to work for a lot of YouTubers. So maybe you could teach me those ways. You know,
Yeah.
and then we can bot trade the hacked money. You know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I got hacked. I don't have to pay taxes, right, on hacked money?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's how it works, though, right? Because essentially, it's theft, right? You have to report it. You have to file a police report.
Mm-hmm. Which then, if it's not true, becomes a felony and some other things. But hey, you know, whatever.
I'm just imagining. You know, people just like talking to the police station, like, all my bitcoins are gone. You know, what am I gonna do? You know, like, and the police officer's like, what are you talking about? Get a job. You know.
I need a police report written, please, that I lost 150 Bitcoin. If you could just sign that right here, officer. Thank you.
Yeah, it's like digital cash. Oh yeah, how much were these worth? Yeah, it's $6,500 a pop. They're just gonna laugh in your face, be like, "Get out of here! You have real crime to stop." Yeah.
All right, so yeah, on that note, guys, anybody who's interested in checking out Crypto Hopper, we did put the link down in there below, so feel free to click the link and go check it out. Crypto Kid says that we should get Crypto Blood on. You're in luck, Crypto Kid. He's coming on next week. So we will have Crypto Blood on. That was another one of the cool people we met at the YouTube Summit. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah, Miggity, again, thanks so much for coming on, man. Really appreciate it, guys. Next week we'll be on with Crypto Blood, and yeah, for sure, guys. If you want to know more, if you want to know about how to work this bot and not wait for us to make our own videos, check out Miggity's channel. He's already got a number of videos up there, tons of good information. It's where I've been doing my studying in the meantime. So definitely recommended. And other than that, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
We love you guys.
Yeah, and we will be in the Cryptosomniac Moon Lounge, so come join us. There's a free Discord link below. So if you did like the content, you know, we may even start a bot channel because
we already did. As a matter of fact, look at this.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I got it up on screen right now. So as soon as I decided that we're gonna start trying this in house, we opened up a channel. So we've got a little chat channel in the Cryptosomniac Advantage as well. So happy to have you guys in there. Feel free to go over to Cryptosomniac.com if you want to check it out. You can join the Moon Lounge for free right now. Very
all right.
So anyway,
That's
all
good.
Thanks again, Steve.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys.
Appreciate it.
I'll see you guys
All
tomorrow.
right.
Take it easy.
See you later.